Reed.
Robert Reed.
And our company is Sterling Impressions. We've been making jewelry since 1972. And this is an example of some of our work here. It's teamwork. I do most of the designing.
I do the casting and stone work settings. Well, it was a barn, kind of gutted when we bought the place 5 years ago, and we just filled it in with just odd and end things that we found in different places. And I did all the work on it, and this is it. This is where we make it all.
And we're big recyclers, so we like to find used things and put it together here. So we've made it comfortable. This is our little home away from home, right outside of our house, our studio outside the house.
We moved back to Silver Hill about 5 years ago, and we bought this place. We used to live right behind us over here before, and it just mainly had worked on this shop. It was just an old barn that we set up outside, and I don't know what.
Yeah, so we've kind of made it a homey place. People can come by for special orders. We have a lot of walk-ins, and sometimes friends come and help us work. So sometimes we have a good time here. We enjoy it. But the way we got into this work, I was an art major, and in one of the classes, I made a ring by the lost wax process. This is an example of some of our work. I used the fused dichroic glass, which I design and carve, and this is all soldered sterling silver wire with cast pieces. This is the actual impression of an insect's wing, and it's set with precious gemstones to accent the colors. This piece is another example of our work where Robert has made the bezel around this ammonite, and this is the actual seahorse head impression with the shell impressions, and the earrings to match have got natural little pieces from nature in there. Another example of what we do, funny things, this is the Whimsy. She's got the dichroic glass fused dress and copper hair. She can be worn as a necklace or a pin. And another example of our dichroic work here, you see in this piece I've carved designs and fused it in the kiln. And here we have a bracelet that's made with the impression of katydids. And then we design the glass and put it in there. Also on the rings, a lot of the pieces we take, well, this is actually Robert's wedding ring. This is white and yellow gold, all seashells, and he set the diamond in a bezel. We do a lot of custom work. People like special wedding bands.
With the materials we use Argentine sterling silver, which is a silver that has a high resistance to tarnish, and also 14-karat yellow gold that we incorporate in with the pieces on the designs, with the different stones, semi-precious, and we set people's diamonds if they have, or melt their gold down that they don't use anymore and redesign it into custom designs. With the different designs that we incorporate, we make them into earrings, necklaces, pendants. We do, of course, the rings, and also menswear like cufflinks, tie chains, things like that.
Well, our inspiration for our designs all comes from nature, since our favorite artist is Jehovah. So you'll see here this piece I'm working on. I'm designing in wax, and I'm using actual little starfish from wax in here. This is special wax that comes from the jewelers' companies. This particular piece is just a sheet of wax, and then wrap around this ring mold. I'll use a little hot tool called a wax welder. And this is the piece I've already started on. This is a blue topaz I put in there. Then I'm taking the wax rods. I would melt them down to the sheet to make the form to hold it. Then take my pieces from nature, which I've made molds of, and basically sculpt in the wax, design it in the wax. People can bring us any type of item. I can set it in the wax because I can start over and design it. It doesn't have to be a standard size. Mounted them on the rubber base. This is a few of the designs I had been working on. Then we'll take a stainless steel flask and put over this fasten it in, and Robert will pour a type of plaster, which is called investment, over that. Then it hardens, and he takes it to the kiln. So he's got the next step to show you how it's finished off there. He's going to cast a piece for us. So basically what's happening is the wax is melting out of here, and he's going to sling it into the mold.
All right, this is a centrifuge. It's a centrifugal caster. It's already been wound up. It operates, it's spring-loaded. And what I do is right here is the crucible. This is where I melt the metal. I put the silver or the gold in this crucible. It has a little hole on the end right here. And you'll see in a moment, and this is the sterling silver grains in which I'll melt down. And as Susan had shown in there with the wax pieces that are on that flask, that stainless steel cylinder, after I have mixed the investment, which is a white plaster material, it's poured into that cylinder. It stays in the kiln here for about 4 hours at around 1600 degrees. So it's pretty hot. In fact, I've let it cool down a little bit for the casting. Generally the flask are fire red. This hole is where the metal will go into, where the wax is melted out into the kiln. When I release this caster and the metal is melted, it will sling the metal into our mold, which is the hollow cavity of where the wax pieces were. This mounts up and matches, and then we'll fire up the torch. And I'll get the metal. It'll be around 1400 degrees when it's ready to sling and it's molted.